Everybody, it's 4 a.m. I want to do, as usual, quick breakdown what I got done for the day, first and foremost. So, pretty solid day. This actually ended up going out to here. So, yeah, pretty solid work day. So, yeah, that's that. Now, going back to the After Effects, few things made today. So, or two. One, I was actually really happy with how far I was able to take the basic idea. I'll try to show you how it's made. So there's a lot of effects on this. So if I were to go and show you, this is a LUT that I have on top of it. Grain, camera wiggle. This is a TV line. So it really changes the way that this whole thing's perceived. Then there's a vignette, which does a huge part as well. Then we have a displacement map, which if I were to play the video, you'll notice like some lines going on. I wonder if I just solo the layer, you can see. So solo, and then solo, turn off all the other effects. You can see, and if I zoom in, it kind of creates that running line through it where it looks like it's glitching. So that's what the displacement map does, because the layer that it is using to displace is this one, not this one, this one, which is pretty much just mapping the footage to the whites of this, which is pretty crazy. So that's that. I have a lens texture, two lens textures, and then I have some dust going on, and then I have a really high chromatic aberration on the dust just so it's not purely white, and then I have the pre-comp of the actual text. So going in here, each text is track matted to this texture. If I were to show you kind of what those look like without any effects, if I were to show you the actual texture itself, it's kind of this like jaggedy line thing. I really liked the way that it looked, and it blends super well into the text, so that was cool. And then I have that on each of them, and then on each of the bits of text, I'll also have fastbox blur just to burn the edges a bit so it looks more real. Chromatic aberration, deep glow, and that is all. And then each of them have an opacity and position wiggle. And then that is all that's going on here. I have the brick at the back, and then each of them are set to a light and blend mode to really go more in. But you can see here like the difference between this initial comp, which I mean I still think looks pretty good, and then this one is just like a huge difference to me. And the look that I was kind of going for is I started off wanting it to be like a old TV thing, and now it kind of looks like it might be something you see like hung up in the corner of a bar or something, which is a really cool look. Then we have the atmosphere, which this is probably the most beautiful thing I've ever made in After Effects, if I'm being honest. Um, we have the room. This is the first layer. We have the smoker, which is just a painting I found and then remove the background of. Then we have some particles that play through. We have, of course, the two different text layers. Let me see any effects here. I did have an artificial drop shadow. So if you see without the drop shadow, and then there's two drop shadows. So if you see without them, it kind of feels pretty dull at the back. And just if you pay attention to zoom in, like right here, this is where the shadow is created alongside. Then we have the smoke. So originally the smoke had this like little black bit to it. Oh, and none of this is showing. That I was confused. I have a color layer over top, but this smoke was black before, and then putting the tint on it brings it back to white. Then I have the extended shadow. Let me see what this is. Oh, yes, I had to go into Photoshop and extend my shadow texture so that I could have it keyframe. That's the clavicular video if you're wondering. But you can see the motion that it follows there. Chromatic aberration, transform, grain, vignette, and then this has nothing on it. But then the real layer and the thing that I'm really integrating a lot more into my work now. It's kind of tedious in After Effects. I was going to buy a plugin for it, but I need to do more research to see if it's what I'm looking for. Is just clicking through a whole bunch of LUTs. Because I clicked through a whole bunch of LUTs and you can see just like the difference between this. This is good, but this, man, come on with the basic LUT here. So if I were to turn this off, you can see kind of what it does. And then I also went into the curves and really pushed the green and the yellow, which is a very cool color scheme when you enrich it. Any kind of brown color looks really nice with like darker reds, greens, purples, and blues. Just like darker tones in general work really well with like brown and yellowish accents, like bronze accents. So very nice there. And then it kind of gets into this frame where I just wanted it to end where you see a smoke go up, use the smoker, and then you have this beautiful like leading line onto his eye. Now I did play around with some like optical flare sun stuff. If I were to very quickly find it, might not be so quick. So this is one of them. I don't think this is the big one I was trying to use. But anyways, if I go back and sorry, I'm looking at the top left, so I don't even know what I clicked on. Okay, here we go. You can see that like it doesn't fit fully, and I could definitely try and blend it in. The issue that I saw with it is just very difficult to build into the scene and the movement that goes on in the scene. However, now that I'm looking at this again, maybe I was just coping, and this could be a million times better. So you're going to see a little bit of live work. Go. It's like a nice amber hue. Let's see what it looks like without. Oh, oh, that looks way better. Okay, so now all we have to do, let's work on this live. All we have to do is let's turn a lot of these off because we don't need them around. So we have this. I actually want it to be darker. We go for more like a afternoonish look. Let's see how small we can get this. Because then what I want to do is match the perspective of this light. It's going to be hard. And this was the issue of why I didn't do it initially. But if I were to just try. And put the optical flare right there. That looks pretty good. That looks really good. So now what we can do is this has no effects applied to it. So we're going to have to re-render this, which is all good. But let's bring all of our stuff back here. Turn that off. Bring this below. See how that looks. Yeah, it's going to take a second to render. So before we do that, let's add two things to it. We're going to add a position wiggle. No, we're not. What we're going to do is we're going to add a transparency wiggle. So I'm thinking could do like a 410. See how that looks. But yeah, I'm probably going to re-render this. So you initially saw it, but maybe you see the creative process kind of ensue. But that looks, it was already probably like my favorite thing I've ever done in terms of just pure aesthetics. Definitely not the most complex motion or anything I've ever done. But boy, does that looks good. That looks really good. Okay, I'm very excited with that. Anyways, it is very late. I'm going to bed.